Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Carrie's Gardening Channel. So today is October the 10th, 2019, and I'm still harvesting cucumbers out of the greenhouse from the original plants that I put in containers back in May. So I'm going to be taking the cucumbers off of here. Now, these here, the cucumber leaves here, these here are sweet potato vines here, because we're growing our edible sweet potatoes this year in the greenhouse to get a longer growing season out of them. And you can see vines grew up the cage here, and they kind of went around. Now, a lot of the vines, they're starting to kind of get tired because they're just getting to the point where they're about done. So some of these I did cut back to see if they would come back, but most of them are getting pretty tired. But I mean, they gave from May to October, so that's a pretty good long run for these, I believe. They did a whole lot better than the ones that were growing out in the garden. So here's one of the cucumbers here. Now, I normally don't let these get this large, but at the time when they were coming on, I didn't need them, so I was just kind of letting them grow. So I'm going to take this off here. Now, this is one of the tender green burpless cucumbers here, and really like the flavor of these. They're really sweet, and we're going to be growing them in the greenhouse from now on. We're not going to be growing them anymore out in the garden because honestly it's a big waste of space in the garden, and they just seem to do so much better in a controlled environment. Now, the year before, we did get cucumbers out of the garden that were planted in there and that we grew, but what we're noticing is they're just so much better in the greenhouse. They're so much sweeter, and we get a bigger harvest. So we're going to be growing them from now on in the greenhouse. So this one here is another one of my plants here. This is one of the original ones, and you can see it's pretty tired. This one would actually happen with it. On one of the vines, something went into the stem of the vine and went through, and it just started killing the plant. So that was unfortunate that happened. Now, you know, we did get some cucumber beetles in the greenhouse. I tried to get them out, but there was always a few that would just kind of slip past. So these here are still more little baby tender green burpless cucumbers that are coming. So I am still taking care of the plants, and I'm probably going to be planting a few more plants for over the winter time. I'm going to see if I can grow them year round under lighting, and I already have my lights from in the basement, and I will also be using the Shanghai LED grow light, which I tried out this year and last year, and I have videos of that on my channel. So the greenhouse is heated, and we did do a double layer on it. Alright, there's a cucumber beetle. And that's the spotted one. And we do have it heated, so we did have the heat on a few nights because it is getting cold here in Pennsylvania. The plant foods that I feed these, I tried a few different plant foods out, and right now what I'm feeding them is the Eco Scraps 555 all-purpose plant food, and I'm also feeding them with Sea Magic. Now, these plants gave a lot of cucumbers off, and I'm very pleased with how much they gave, and this is my preferred method of growing. This was an experiment, growing them in the greenhouse to see how they would do, and this is now my preferred method. So I'm going to see how they do over the winter time with the lighting on for extra hours of light when they need it. And there's another little cucumber coming right there. And this one here is the striped cucumber beetle right here, and they're bad news. These and the spotted ones are bad news for your plants, so they have to go. But You see there's another cucumber hanging on right here. Now, the seed company, there was a little mix-up with the seeds, so I contacted them, and they sent me a brand new pack out. But this one, I'm not exactly sure what variety this one here is, because there was a mix-up with the pack. But these were started later, but honestly, the original ones still gave more than what these new ones did. But these here are definitely the tender green burpless cucumbers. You can tell that because they're smooth. They have like a little bit of a texture to them, but they're really smooth. They don't have like the pricks on them. And this here is one of the tender green burpless cucumbers when it's larger. You can see it's nice and smooth. There's no pricks on it or anything like that. So these two in here must have been that other variety that got mixed in somehow with the seeds, because these have pricks on them. So does this one here. So that's what I got off for today. Now I will check a few other spots, because sometimes they kind of like to just mingle in with some of the other plants, and it's really hard to find them. I know the one went the whole way back through my flowers that I have growing in the greenhouse, so I have to search for the cucumbers and try and find them. And even the ones in the hanging baskets are still going. I had to get rid of 3 of them so far, but I do have one of the original ones still going from when I first planted them out, and when I first planted them in their containers in May. And that one has 2 plants in it. It is starting to grow back out, so I'm kind of experimenting with it to see, you know, if it's going to continue to grow back out, or if I'm going to plant new plants. Okay, so I did find another one that was hiding, and this one here does have little teeny pricks on, but I know that this one here is a tender green burpless cucumber. The pricks are a lot smaller, so I'm going to get this one here off. And you can see this one here, but it still doesn't have the same type of pricks like your straight 8 cucumbers would have on it. But even when these are large like this, they're still super sweet. And I haven't had a bitter one of these yet come out of the greenhouse. So I did find another cucumber here as I was walking around. It was kind of buried where I couldn't see it, and I just happened to catch a glimpse of it a certain way that I turned. So if you like my video, please like, comment, subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the little notification button. That'll tell you when I put a new video on. You can also follow me on Twitter. I have a link down in the description for my Twitter account. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye!